Lord, my life is so difficult. Brent Spiner called me in 1991, and he made love to me on the phone, and I turned him down for you. And then we started a long-distance correspondence, and this horrible Laurie McBride woman got in between, and I can tell he doesn't want her. I don't understand. How does she have so much power, Lord? And now, it's like my son. He's in the 6th grade, and all the kids are picking on him, and he gets sick every week, and he's missed so much school. He's going to flunk 6th grade. I can't even drive out on the street. It seems like every street corner there's a police car waiting around every corner to give me a ticket. When I go to get prescription meds at the pharmacy, half of my prescriptions are contaminated with germs. My life is crazy. And now I don't know, it's like when I came back from South Carolina, and I got off of all those psychiatric meds because I didn't need to be on them. I go to see a naturopathic physician, and she says that I need spinal extremity correction for my stomach. And then she lays me on a table and pulls my head back and gives me spasms in my neck so I can't sleep, and even induces psychosis in me. And Laurie McBride even got my naturopathic physician. And then I go to a chiropractor to fix it, and he makes it worse. He takes my neck and he goes, and then I lose even more sleep. Then I write the credit card companies and say I want to dispute these charges. And then they say there's nothing they can do, that the medical practitioners don't admit they've done anything. I sent a certified return receipt, and it takes them 3 weeks to get my letters, and the certified return receipt takes about 2 weeks each one. I do it 2 or 3 times, and now I go for my mammogram in this dark room, and that doctor, he looks at me with this really serious look, and he said, "Gail, I don't want to scare you, and this is probably nothing, but you have calcium deposits on your right breast, and just as a precautionary measure, we feel like we need to do a biopsy, a needle-guided biopsy." And I said, "Well, what's involved in this biopsy?" He said, "We need to put you under general anesthesia." I said, "General anesthesia? I don't want to go under general anesthesia." I said, "No, does it have to be general anesthesia? Can you do it local?" He said, "No, general's the way we do it." I said, "But why does it have to be general? I don't want to go under general. I don't trust Laurie McBride and her friends. I don't know why this woman has so much power, but they're going to do something to me in that operating room, and I don't want general anesthesia. Lord, my life is so difficult." I got to get my Bible. Where's my Bible? Lord, my life is so difficult. Here I am in Seattle. It's cold out there. 2 in the morning. Lord, what's going on? There's a voice in my mind. Your enemy is the Roman Catholic Church. Oh my God. Oh my God. Brent Spiner, that Laurie McBride, she's a Vatican agent. That's why when she tried to seduce Franco Nero, Brent Spiner couldn't get rid of her. She won't go away because her job is to keep me and Brent apart. Her job was to break up me and Brent. He's loved me ever since 1991. He never wanted Laurie McBride. Oh God, I've been so terrible to him. Oh, I gotta get on the phone and talk to him, Brent. Brent, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's my phone. Brent, I'm so sorry. I know this phone's wiretapped. Brent, I just want you to know, the Lord just told me. He just told me that your girlfriend is a Vatican agent. I'm so sorry. I've been so mean to you. I said that you were a coward. And I dropped you for Franco Nero. And you've loved me the whole time. I'm so sorry, Brent. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Brent. I love you. And I'll dream about making love to you again. You've loved me the whole time. And I've been so mean to you. I'm so sorry, Brent. Your girlfriend, Lori McBride's a Vatican agent. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You know what, Brent? I'm going to marry you. I know I said that I'd never have romantic feelings for you again, but I'm going to marry you. Because you've been through so much. You put up with that woman just for me. You never wanted her from day one. I'll marry you, Brent. I know I'm married, but I'm going to divorce my husband. He doesn't love me like you do. He would never go through all this for me. And Franco will understand. I'm sorry. I'm going to marry you. So I told Brent that I'd marry him. And I know that he listened to me because my phone was wiretapped. All of a sudden, everything started going crazy. It's like my prescription meds got contaminated 3 full times more than they were before. That doctor tried to rush me into a biopsy, and I went to the Lord in prayer, and he said I didn't feel peace about going. When I knew that Lori McBride was a Vatican agent, I knew that I couldn't risk going into general anesthesia because the Roman Catholic Church could do something to me in the operating room. So what I did then is I started talking to Brent all the time on the phone. I got on the phone. My phone was wiretapped in Seattle, and I talked to him. And I did file for divorce from my husband. But it was so strange. He was out to sea, and they kept him out to sea, and it was like he was out there forever. It was like the Roman Catholic Church was trying to delay the divorce. And when he was gone like 7 or 8 months. And then when he finally came home, I had to hire a server to serve him with papers because he was trying to avoid it. But what was really strange is I told Brent, I said, Brent, this was in January of 2000. I said, you need to go on the Los Angeles News, and you need to let them know that Lori McBride is a Roman Catholic agent and the true nature of your relationship with her. You need to bring it to the LA court. The next day, I was watching Cairo News in Seattle, and I heard the news. Alaska Airlines jet flying from Mexico to Seattle crashed head down right off of Port Hueneme, California. It was headed towards Seattle. Most of the people on the jet were from Seattle. That happened the same day that I believe Brent wanted to go air his story. He had a court case going against Lori McBride. He was suing her in court for all the damage she was doing to me with that naturopathic physician and the chiropractor. Well, it crashed head down. I thought, oh, God. I said, I can't believe this church. I can't believe they did this. The pressure just increased and increased. It just got worse and worse and worse. It was like it was going in my life. And I had to be so strong. The breast cancer, I went to God in prayer with that, and I told my mother and Brent about it. And finally, the people that cared about me did agree that I probably should get the biopsy done. So I decided to get it done with some doctors that were willing to use local anesthesia. And I went in twice, and I made a deal with God, and I said, Lord, what are you trying to tell me with this? And the Lord said, if you'll write, I'll take it away. You do have breast cancer, but if you write, I'll take it away. So I started writing, and I wrote Emerald Towers, and I tried to get it to place in the Writer's Digest writing contest, and that was May 2000, but the Jesuits blocked that, so it didn't go anywhere. Anyways, I didn't really care about that because I don't write for fame. I wrote that for Brent. It was all about my relationship with Brent. So I thought, I said, I got to marry this guy. Well, the divorce was so complicated. They finally started going on, and they were started asking me nosy questions about my life, and they managed to find out about Brent Spiner and that we'd had a long distance relationship, and they tried to make it seem really crazy, and that Lori McBride was his legit girlfriend, and I could tell that I was dealing with a very powerful church. Eventually, they lied about me. I wrote a statement about a little bit about my relationship with Brent Spiner, and they lied about me. And what happened when I mailed it to my lawyer, Jesuit postal workers switched it out with a fake document that Jesuits wrote to make me appear crazy. I found out about this later, and it worked. So I was deemed crazy in the divorce trial, and I lost custody of my son, even though I fought for it. And I thought, well, maybe I can still marry Brent. And, maybe after I marry Brent, then I might be able to get my son. So I kept hoping he would show up. And he tried to get money to me. But the Jesuits just blocked everything. And then finally, the divorce was final. And then in 2001, I didn't have anywhere to go, no job. I couldn't get a job in Seattle. So I decided to have my mother come get me and let me stay with her. So she came with her friend who would drive my car down to Florida. And as I was flying on that jet, I recall I was thinking, I said, I just want to be with Brent so bad. And every time that plane landed, I'd look and think maybe he's going to come on the plane and take me down to LA to be with him, but it never happened. We finally landed in Florida, and I was kind of disappointed, but I thought, oh well, maybe he'll come get me here in Florida. We landed in Florida, and right away I had to look for a job. Even though I wanted to be Brent Spiner's wife, I wasn't really too excited about it. I was thinking I could maybe go to law school and be a lawyer, but I wasn't sure where I'd get the money for med school or if I could even pass the law school admission test, because I knew they'd probably sabotage that somehow, like they did everything else in my life. So finally, I was about to get a job working at a retail store. And well, in the summer first of all, my mom and stepdad went out to Las Vegas. And I believe Brent was on that jet on the way back. And that he bought a home up in Daytona Beach. And I thought, oh, he's getting closer to me. This is exciting. I get to be with him. I was so excited. Because I'd been actually, ever since 1991, if it wasn't for Lori McBride, I had written a novel for him. Well, what happened was he kept trying to come to see me, but the Jesuits kept causing problems. And I was about to get a job at Sears, and it was one of those eerie days. I was driving out in my car, and I could see the papers in the road just flying around, and it just seemed really spooky. I thought, I just sensed something really horrible has happened today. I went to the doctor's office and walked in, and I was there to do a standard drug testing. They're going to have me do a urine test to check to see if I had any drugs in my system before they hired me. But when I walked into the office, all of the radios and televisions, the radios were on, and I said, what's going on? They were all saying, oh, we have to report this horrible news. We just had a major terrorist attack in the United States. Looks like we lost about 500 firefighters. I said, what is going on? He said, you haven't heard? The United States is at war. We've been attacked. Up in New York City, the Twin Towers fell down, and a bunch of firefighters went in there to try to rescue everybody in the towers, and they all died. And looks like some terrorist airplanes crashed into some buildings, and they fell down. I thought, oh my God. said, the Jesuits did this because Brent's trying to use the airlines to come get me. I said, oh my God, this is World War III. I thought, oh no, Brent will never come get me now, not after this. I was so upset. I thought, oh God, I've got to be strong for Brent. I can't let these people win. I was so angry. I said, oh, if I go down in my own blood, I won't let these people win. I said, but Brent's never going to come get me now. This will be enough to intimidate him for life. I was so upset. I played the beginning of Gladiator over and over from about 9 a.m. to 3 in the afternoon. And I thought, Brent's never going to show up now. He's never going to show up. And you know what else happened? Brent Spiner, when he tried to come over in the summer, they actually had a clone or something of Laurie McBride in a car, and they blew her up. I guess they did this to show Brent that they meant business, that they were trying to make a martyr out of her so that, and probably make it look like Brent killed her or something. And then there was this actor, some Italian star who I think was in Beretta, and he was having all sorts of stuff going on with him. So they were trying to create the impression in Hollywood that actors are loose and immoral and secret killers on the side. And I thought, oh man, I can't believe that they're actually creating a climate to make it look like all actors are shallow and playboys and they don't commit to their women, so that Brent will be intimidated from marrying me even though I knew he loved me. Well, I knew I could tell that Brent was communicating with the president, and there were bugs in my room, and there were bugs in my room, and I would talk to the bugs. I'd say, well, Brent, looks like you're still trying, but you know, I want you to tell President Bush this. Tell President Bush to tell that Russian and Chinese leaders to be very careful because of these 9/11 attacks, the Jesuits are probably going to try to kill one of them and then blame it on the United States. And I thought, warn them, because we don't want to have war with Russia and China. I know they didn't do 9/11, so please tell President Bush that. Well, the next day, lo and behold, I got our newspaper, and I saw a picture here. It says, Putin puts pressure on Chechen rebels. And I saw the most handsome photo of Vladimir Putin. And he looked like he was flirting with me. There it is. Can't see it very well. Not a very good picture. I just kept looking at that picture and I thought, man, I didn't know the Russian president was so handsome. You know what? I bet he'd marry me because he looks like he's heroic and brave. Yeah. He's flirting with me. He likes me. Well, he was the first world leader to contact President Bush, and he's as horrified over the 9/11 attacks as I am. Yeah, he would marry me. There's bugs in this room. Vladimir, I know you're listening to me because I know that there are bugs in my room. You know what? I'm going to marry the Russian president. Yes, I'm going to marry the Russian president. That's right, I'm going to marry you. I don't know what it is about you. You look so. He's my hero. Me and Vladimir, we're going to beat that Roman Catholic Church. I need a president in my life. I'm going to marry the Russian president. I thought, am I going to feel this way tomorrow? Let's go to bed. Oh, I went to bed. Next day I woke up. Thought, yeah, I can't stop thinking about this guy. I can't stop dreaming about making love to this guy. Oh man. Making love to the Russian president. He's so handsome. I never dreamed I'd feel this way about a Russian president. Oh man, no, I would be awesome to make love to this guy. He's so manly and heroic. He's my hero. I love a macho guy. Oh man, look at that face. I never dreamed I'd ever love a president. But this one's handsome. And he's gorgeous. Well, all of a sudden, I'd never heard of the Russian president before, never seen his picture before. And all of a sudden, he was getting all over American news. I thought, that's it. He's going to try to meet me. And lo and behold, it was like he went to China and he was meeting with President Bush all the time. And I was getting so excited. I thought, I'm going to get to meet him. He's trying to come to the United States. I was so excited. And I'm going to clear off for the next scene here. I thought, this is marvelous. Oh, I thought, I got to get ready for him. And I started thinking, la, 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 la. I started thinking about dreaming about Vladimir every day. I thought, oh, he's my hero. Maybe I can't marry Brent anymore, but I know he'll marry me. It's just not that I didn't want Brent, but I just didn't think Brent would ever show up. But that I know he'll be brave enough to show up. I just know it. He's so heroic. Oh, he's smart too, man. I was reading. I said I read something, and he speaks good English. I saw a transcript of his visit in China. Broken English, and he uses master's degree level words, college. Oh, this guy is my hero. He's my conqueror. He will do it. He will beat, me and Vladimir, we will beat the Roman Catholic Church. We will defeat them, and they won't bother us anymore, and we'll stop them from all their horrible plans. They won't be able to do what they want to do. I thought, yeah, boy. And he's going to try, he's been meeting with Bush a lot. He's going to try to come and meet me. He's flirting with me. And he's not married, because if he was married, he wouldn't be picking up his activities like this and trying to come over here. But he's going to come to a pioneer visit in the United States. He's never been to the U.S. before. This is the first time that a Russian leader has come to the United States, and he's doing it just for me. I'm so excited. I'm going to get to meet Vladimir, and then I'll get to go off with him to Russia and be his wife, and I'm going to try to make him proud of me and be the strong woman for him and love him passionately like I feel about him. And so I started thinking in my mind, imagining myself as the wife of the Russian president. And then I was so excited he was coming to the United States to visit Bush. And Bush said he's going to take him to his Crawford Ranch. And he's coming for me. Oh, good. And then I got my job, but it didn't last very long. And my mother decided to move me to Tallahassee. And I thought maybe this was Vladimir's way of, see, Tallahassee's the capital of Florida, Vladimir's way of trying to meet me because I was going to the capital of Florida. So I went there and I kept watching the news every day. I got cable right away. Now that President Bush is going to be a matchmaker and try to get me to marry him. That's why they're so buddy-buddy right now. Well, a couple days before Vladimir was to show up to be here in the United States for his pioneer visit, this airplane crashed. It was in Queens. And I thought, oh no, that's going to scare him. This is going to end up being like, well, before that, something even worse happened. I picked up the paper, and there was a little snippet in the Tallahassee Democrat. And it said that Laura Bush would escort Vladimir Putin and his wife, Lyudmila, around Texas Ranch. I thought, he has a wife named Lyudmila? I can tell him. No, this is crazy. I know I've been talking to him in the bugs in my room. I know he doesn't have a wife. I thought, wait a minute. Lyudmila. That's spelled Lyudmila. Lyudmila, kind of like Laurie McBride, the alliterations between the six. He doesn't have a wife named Lyudmila. That's his Laurie McBride. The Roman Catholic Church picked a wife for him. Oh no! I got a repeat of Laurie McBride with Vladimir Putin, and not again. But oh man! Oh well, maybe he'll be stronger than Brent, and he won't play that stupid game like Brent did with Laurie McBride, and he won't show up with her. He'll just tell everybody it's a big lie. So I was glued to the news, and I thought, let's see what happens and see how he handles this. And then that airplane crashed in Queens, and I thought, oh boy, that's going to scare Bush and Vladimir, because the Jesuits did that to show that if Vladimir doesn't play this game with Lyudmila, that they're going to kill a bunch of people. And I bet President Bush is worried about his wife Laura Bush, because if Vladimir doesn't play this game, then they're going to kill Laura Bush. And so, oh no. Well, let's see. Vladimir seems like he's really brave. So I was glued to the news for the Pioneer visit. I thought, oh, let's go see what happens. And so the airplane landed. The Russian airplane landed. It was his Russian official government jet. And here comes Vladimir. And the door to the plane opened. And right next to him, he came down. He was going like, Lyudmila was right next to him. He was, oh man, he looked as nervous as hell. It was like, he wasn't smiling. He looked this way, and he was looking nervously down at Lyudmila's legs. It was like, and she had these, like, she was fat, overweight, and she had these legs that looked like, I don't know, they didn't have any shapeliness to him, and it was like he was embarrassed to be with her. He was going like this, and fiddling with his suit, and going down the stairs, and then just kind of acting real formal and official, and I could say, oh my God, I said, oh my God, that's not his wife. I can tell by the way he's acting. He's as nervous as hell, man. And when apparently he was listening to the bugs in my room, and it was like as soon as I started laughing, he smiled. It was like, oh my God, he's really listening to me while he's on this trip. That kind of made him lighten up, and he started smiling. And then when it was time for him to meet President Bush in the room where he greets his visitors from out of state, they call it the greeting room. So they both sat down, and I'll see if I can get a good imitation here. And President Bush was in one chair, and Vladimir was in the other chair, and President Bush was acting real official and saying, well, welcome to our country, Vladimir. It's an honor to have you here, and we just want to welcome you to the United States, and I'm looking forward to escorting you and your lovely wife, Lyudmila, around our ranch later today. And then Vladimir said, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be in your country. Thank you. And President Bush said, I understand that you have 2 daughters, and Vladimir said, yes. Actually, he wasn't speaking in English. He was speaking in Russian. And I was laughing, oh, Vladimir, you know how to speak English. You're just playing dumb because you don't want to talk, because you might open your mouth and say something that you don't want to say, because you got to play this game with this Lyudmila woman and pretend like she's your wife when you're not, so it's safer for you to play like you're dumb, and you don't speak English. So he was playing dumb, and I was looking at his face, and I could tell that he was relieved that I laughed when he came down the stairs the steps of that jet with Lyudmila, that I was taking it not too hard. And then he toured with Bush around the ranch, and I watched them, and I thought, oh man, maybe he's going to come to Tallahassee and see me. I thought, oh, I got to get ready. I even had my luggage all ready. I thought, maybe he's going to come see me. I said, but how is he going to handle it with Lyudmila next to him? What's he going to do? Pretend like I'm his companion or something? So I thought, but deep in my heart, I thought, you know what? He's not going to be able to work around this Lyudmila stuff. I don't think he's going to show up, but I kept hoping that maybe he would. And then I watched the news coverage of him, and there was he spoke to he was in front of a bunch of college students, and speaking in Russian, playing dumb because I knew he spoke English. And Vladimir, and he was up there speaking in Russian, and there was a translator. And he was just saying what an honor it was for him to be in this country. And then somebody out of the audience said, Mr. Putin, will you take me to Russia with you? And then Vladimir said, he said, he spoke in Russian basically like this: I don't speak English well, so I have to use translator. And that was about it. That was his response. And then I could tell he wasn't planning on taking that person to Russia or anybody else. I thought, oh, Vladimir, you came over here just for me, and now you're going to leave without me. Well, you know what happened? He did leave without me. I watched the news, and he visited the 9/11 wreckage, and then he went back to Russia. I talked to Vladimir in the boat. He said, Vladimir, are you going to end up being just like Brent Spiner, where the Jesuits are going to give you their woman, and then we're going to have to play this stupid game, and I'll never get to be with you? And this will be continued. This is part 1 of my adventures with Vladimir Putin. I was just... when he left the United States without me, I thought, here we go again. They gave Brent Spiner Laurie McBride, and now they've given Vladimir Putin Lyudmila Putin. I thought, well, I guess he picked a fat woman because he figured that with an uglier woman that nobody would think that he's a playboy because he's got a wife who looks like that. So I thought, I guess that's the reason he picked a fat woman. So I thought, oh boy, I don't know if this is going to work. She seemed nicer than Laurie McBride, but I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to marry him. I think the Jesuits have done it to me again.